Hi guys. So in this video we are going to discuss about the poem Eastern 1960 by the famous poet and writer William Butler Yeats, which is commonly known as WB Yeats. So when we speak about him, he is an Irish writer. He was a primary figure who found out Abbey Theatre along with Lady Gregory, and he was one of the pioneers of Irish literary revival. So he contributed many of his works to Irish rebellion and Irish literary revival. So he was one of the, and we can say that he was one of the primary or pioneer writers of the 20th century literature, and he has won Nobel Prize for Literature in 1923. So when we speak about this poem Easter 1960, this poem is all about the rebellion which took place in the Easter day in 1960. We all know that Ireland was under the control of Britain. Okay, so Ireland was occupied by the British government. So a bunch of people led a army or led a rival or led a revolution against the British government on the day of Easter in 1960. So for participating in this rebellion, they were brutally murdered by the British government. So to commemorate those who had died in this revolution or rebellion, WB Yeats wrote a poem which is named as the Easter 1960. So when we analyze this poem, he commemorizes the heroes or the warriors who have died or who have led the army against or the rebellion against the British government. So he seeks revenge for them, for getting them tortured and letting them die in the soils of their own land, for seeking their freedom of Ireland, which is their own country, okay, which is on their own state, which is named as Ireland. So when we move into this poem, the poem always speaks about the heroes, and he praises the heroes for taking part of that revolutionary army, so who led the revolution against the British government. For participating in that rebellion, the British government have murdered these guys, these heroes. So there are several heroes he is mentioning in this poem. We will discuss in this inside of this poem. Okay, so we will move on to the line by line explanation of Easter 1960. So when the poem begins, the poet is talking about the peoples who are going to participate in this rebellion, great Irish rebellion against the British government. Okay, so the poem begins like this. I have met them at close of a day, coming with vivid faces from counter or desk among grey 18th century houses. I have met the peoples who are going to the rebellion at the end of the day or the close of the day. At an evening, I have met the peoples who are going to participate in this great Irish rebellion to seek revenge against the British government and to gain the freedom of independence from the British government. So I have seen those people who are going to participate in this rebellion coming with vivid faces. Vivid faces means happy faces. They are going to participate in this rebellion with their happy faces from counter or desk among grey 18th century houses. So it reminds us of the houses in 18th century in Ireland. They are coming from the 18th century houses of British Ireland. So it denotes the contemporary or the society or that shape of that houses in that 18th century in British occupied Ireland. So from that period or in that period, they used to live in grey houses. In that grey houses, they come out with their vivid faces in that evening. So in that evening, these heroes, those who are participating in this rebellion, come out with a vivid face and happy faces from their 18th century houses, grey houses. The grey symbolizes the color of this house. It symbolizes the 18th century houses. Okay, and the poet then says that I have passed with a nod of the head or polite meaningless words, or have lingered a while and said polite meaningless words. Maybe I have met them. The poet says that I may have met them earlier. So okay, this is not the first time I have meeting them. May have met them in earlier. So I may have exchanged some polite meaningless words. I may have chit chat with them, some kind of things or some kind of usual things with them. Okay, or have lingered a while and said polite, meaningless words. I have encountered with them. I have encountered with some or shared some words with them, but I don't remember. But I somehow remember the faces of those who have I have faced in that evening. And though before I had gone of a mocking tale or jibe to please a companion around the fire at the club. Jibe means a joke. Okay. And thought before I had done of a mocking tale or jibe to please a companion. When I met them, I may have cracked some jokes to them to start a usual conversation. To speak with them, to conversate with them, I may have shared some jokes with them. He is saying that he may have joked with the people who are going to participate in this Irish rebellion. So I may have met them in the club, at the fire at the club. So it will be the golden days. So there will be obviously there will be the fire sticks and everything to heat up the atmosphere. So he says that maybe I have met them at the club around the fire, which they use to maintain their body temperature. Okay. Being certain that they and I but lived were motley is one. Motley is which means it is a dress of a joker, which means we can see that a dress with all colors. So he says that being certain that they and I but lived were motley is one. So they are living in the people of motley or joker. Now they are living like jokers under the control of the British government. All changed utterly. But suddenly everything is going to change. Everything has changed. What happened? A terrible beauty is born. A terrible beauty. It's an oxymoron. Two opposite words are combined to frame a common sentence. Frame a sentence. Here, terrible means something drastic, and beauty means something looks beautiful. So here it means is that the growth or birth of that Irish rebellion. So until then the British Ireland peoples were living like a motley. So they are living like a motley in the under the control of the British government. But now suddenly everything is going to change. A terrible beauty is born. Something is going to change. The Irish rebellion is going to take place. Okay. Now the poem is commemorating or the poet is speaking about the person who have participated in this Irish rebellion and the leaders who led them in that Irish rebellion. So there is a woman. That woman's days were spent in ignorant goodwill, her nights in argument until her voice grew shrill. What voice more sweet than hers? When young and beautiful, she wrote to Harrios. That woman here denotes Countess Markievicz. She was a revolutionary leader who participated in this Irish rebellion in ignorant goodwill. Okay, she ignored all her goodwills to participate in this Irish rebellion. Her nights in argument until her voice grew shrill. She used her voice, she used all her strength to gain independence from this British government. What voice more sweeter than hers when is young and beautiful, she wrote to Harriet. Now the poet is speaking about the young Countess Markievicz. Once she was beautiful and she was charming. She looks very, what we say, very very beautiful. And now her voice have crucial because now she doesn't care about her beauty. Now all she care about is the independence of her own country, which is Ireland. This man had kept his cool and rode our winged horse. This other helper and friend was coming into his force. And another man is getting denoted here. So which is Patrick Pearson, one of the friend of our great WB Yeats. This man had kept his cool and rode our winged horse. Winged horse here may be denoting about the great Pegasus. Okay, when we look into the Greek mythology, there is a great horse called Pegasus, which is a horse of a great muse. Okay, so here he commemorates his best friend, which is Patrick Pearson. He was a teacher. He was a great teacher. He was sensitive, and he rode a winged horse. Okay, this other his helper and friend was coming into his force. Along with Patrick Pierce, we can see his friend, which is a poet and critic, Thomas MacDonagh. So we are speaking about the leaders who participated in this rebellion. First we have Countess Markafix, then we spoke about Patrick Pierce. Now we have Patrick Pierce's friend, which is Thomas MacDonagh. So Thomas MacDonagh also came into his force. He was also joined as a support to the Irish rebellion. He might have won fame in the end. So sensitive his nature seemed, so daring and sweet his thought. So he was sweet and sensitive. This Thomas MacDonagh, he is sweet and sensitive. He was always revolution rising against the British rebellion. So his sweet, his thoughts were sweet. He was so daring. He was so courageous to speak against the British government. Okay, and now we are moving to the next. This other man I had dreamed a drunken, vainglorious lout. Now we are speaking about another person who is a vainglorious lout. Vainglorious lout means a person who always, who never shuts his mouth after drinking. He always kept speaking. Okay, this man is John McBride. Okay, John McBride is being spoken here. He was a drunkard. He always drinks. Okay, he had done most bitter wrong to some who are near my heart. So here what he means that this John McBride might have hurt a person who is very closer to WB Yeats. It is saying that it is the old lover of WB Yeats, which is Maud Gonne. Maud Gonne is the current wife of our John McBride. So he says that he cheated him and take away his wife from her. Okay, John McBride married Maud Gonne and by cheating WB Yeats. That's why he says that to some who are near my heart, he had taken away the person who were near to my heart. The person I loved were taken away from me by this John McBride. Okay, yet I number him in the song. He too has resigned his part in the casual comedy. He cheated me. Moreover, he cheated my wife and he took away my wife from me. But still, I am commemorating his name because he gave his life and everything to fight for his own country. He cheated me, not our country. So I am commemorating him, or I am remembering him in my poem. So he took away my wife, but not my country. So I think that he is a hero. He is meant to be remembered. He too has been changed in the stone, transformed utterly. When the time comes, he too changed his characters. So he changed his vainglorious, loud behavior when the time arrived for his country. He fought for the country and he fought for the death of his country until his death. He fought hard until the death of his body. Okay. And this poem also ends by saying that a terrible beauty is born. Maybe the terrible beauty indicates the arrival of the revolution, or the what we can say, the revolution against the British government. So in the third stanza, herds with one purpose alone, through summer and winter seem enchanted to a storm, to trouble the living stream. So hearts with one purpose. The island peoples, the leaders, everyone in Ireland had only one purpose, that is the independence of Ireland from the British government. Even though it is summer and winter, they enchanted to a stone. Their heart were made into a stone. They made their heart into a stone by saying that whatever happens, whatever bad happens, our heart will stay remind that our only aim and only goal is to gain independence from the British government. So it is fixed like a stone in a stream. It won't be moving like that. Our heart is fixed like that, which means our heart is constant in the situation where we will be getting independence from the British government. The horse that comes from the road, the rider, the birds that range from cloud to tumbling cloud, minute by minute they change. Everything in this universe change, but not our heart. A horse movement will be changing by his walking, and a bird's range will be changing by his flying, and a cloud will be moving in the sky when the rain comes, but not our heart. Like that, everything in every minute will be changing its position, but not our heart. Our heart is fixed at one thing, which is the independence of the great Ireland. Okay, a hose who slides on the brim and a hose splashes with it. When a hose walks, you can see the vim on his feet. So the movement of the hose is also changing by his walking. The long-legged move hence dive, and hence to moose cocks call. So the cocks call the moose. The what we can say, the chickens call the moose, and it will be also changing their positions minute by minute. They leave the stone in the midst of all. So all these creatures, also all these animals will be living their life, but not the animal called Ireland peoples, because they will be living for the independence of their country. They won't be moving until the independence is beaten or got back from the British government. So they made their heart into a stone which is moving, which is not moving. So it is placed in a river where it is not moving. So even the hand, dog, horse, river, clouds are moving, but not our heart. It is fixed at the point in which they will be moving the heart only after getting independence from the British government. Okay, too long a sacrifice can make a stone of the heart. This much of sacrifice, this much of pain and sufferance will make a person's heart into a stone. So they say that this much sacrifices, they are not remembering anything other than the independence of the great Ireland. Their only aim is to get independence from this British government. So the poet says that too long a sacrifices, this many sacrifices will make a heart of a person into a stone, or made suffice. This is heaven's part. Our part is to murmur name upon name, as a mother names her child, when sleep at last has come on limbs that had run wild. So the part is done. So now our part is to murmur the person, murmur the people, to murmur the leaders who have sacrificed their life into the Irish rebellion. Now our duty is to murmur that person, like a mother sleeps her child with a lullaby. Okay, so a mother sleeps his child with lullaby. So like that, the peoples of Ireland will murmur the names of the heroes who sacrificed their names and their body and everything for the independence of their own country. What is it but nightfall? No, night but death. So what is this situation? What is the fall of this night? What is the current situation of Ireland? No, not right, but death. So now it is the death of our heroes. Was it needless death after all? The death of our heroes, the heroes who fought for the independence of Ireland, was it needy? The poet is asking a question. Is their death was needy? Was it a good death? No. For England may keep faith for all that is done and said. So England is speaking about their kin and everything. They are keeping faith that is done and said. We know their dream, enough to know they dreamed and are dead. Those who dreamed of the independence are dead now because of the British people. Those who have participated in the Irish rebellion were brutally murdered by the British government. Those who dreamt or dreamed for the independence of Ireland, no more alive. They are no more alive because they are killed by the British government. They were the ones who hardly believed in the independence of Ireland, who hardly fought for the independence of Ireland. So here the poet says that the persons who fought hard for the independence of Ireland is no more alive. They were the one who highly dreamt of the independence of Ireland. So the poet is asking a question: was it a needless death? Was their death a needy one? Okay. And what if excess of love bewildered them till they died? What is excess of love? So the poet says that they are commemorating him after their death, and now they are only remembered after their death. I write it out in a verse. So the poet is now speaking about the persons who we described in the second stanza. Those persons are, I write it out in a verse. No one remembers. Everyone now remembers them after their death, after their sacrifice. Those peoples are these guys. I am going to write them about in my verse or in my poem, which is MacDonagh and MacBride and Connolly and Pierce, now and in time to be, wherever green is worn, are changed utterly, a terrible beauty is born. So now I am commemorating these persons. These are the person we described in the second stanza of the poem. Now I am going to remember them again by writing them in my poetry. The poetry about Ireland and independence of Ireland. They are going to be ever remembered. Okay, wherever green is found, the green may be indicating the flag of Ireland. So now the Ireland wears the green flag because of this guys. Once it was red, which is the flag of Britain. Now the Ireland wears the green flag of Ireland, which is the sacrifice of these guys. Are changed and changed utterly. A terrible beauty is born. Now the British flag has been changed into a green one. A terrible beauty has born, which means the Irish independence has happened. Okay, because of the sacrifices of these guys, the Irish rebellion got a huge success, and after that they got independence from this Great Britain, even though they lost their best heroes in the Irish rebellion. So in this poem we can see that the poet is commemorating the peoples or who sacrificed their life for the independence of this Irish country. So we can see the love of the poet towards the people who have died or the leaders who have died and for his country. Okay, hope you all understand the poem. Thank you.